Hey, Lance Taylor, lanceslock.com, coming to you a couple of months, less than 2 months away from the 2024 college football season. And leading up to it, we are going to be doing a series of podcasts for you here. 2024, so excited about the season. We have got a college football playoff that has expanded to 12 teams, new faces, new places, coaches, and especially quarterbacks. And that's where we're going to start here. We're going to do some top 10 lists. Our first list is going to be the top 10 new quarterback situations I'm the most excited about going into the 2024 season. Want to remind you, we are going into year number 11 here on Lance's Lock. So we started this in the fall of 2014. So this will be the 11th fall we are going into. We have had 8 winning years, only 2 losing years, and we are already killing it in 2024. So get ready for the college football season with us. We're going to be doing things differently. We've got a new website that drops in the next week. We've potentially got a new handicapper coming on board with us, doing some other things for us. We're going to be doing a series of podcast interaction with you guys where during the week, during game weeks, you guys will jump on with me, ask questions about certain games. We'll go through numbers, but really excited about this. But let's start our list. Again, it is the 10 new quarterback situations I'm most excited about. Now, some of these are going to be guys that have waited their time on campus, and some are just going to be transfer portal guys. We will start first with one of those transfer portal guys. Number 10 on my list, Grayson McCall. This is a guy that has started 40 games in his college football career, all at Coastal Carolina. He transfers out. He will be playing his college football now in Raleigh to wrap up his career. He's 23 years old, 3-time Sun Belt Player of the Year. There were zero expectations for this program when he first got his start. That year in the Sun Belt, they were projected dead last. What do? They go out, they wrap up the first undefeated season in Coastal Carolina history, and he is your Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year. They got as high as number 12 that year in both the AP and coaches polls. This is a guy that can do a lot, and I think with more talent around him, he can even be better. I had a big expectation last year when Dave Duran went out and got Brennan Armstrong in the portal to come in from Virginia. He was very subpar, 11 touchdowns, 7 picks, only threw for 1,800 yards, and the NC State offense only averaged 26 points per game. You look at NC State, they did win 9 games. They finished 21st in both polls. Ironically, I have them 21 when we did our 40 and 40. I had them ranked 21st. I think they're probably a 9-win team. I think the offense will be better, though, with the experience, the 106 career touchdowns of Grayson McCall. He is number 10 on my list. Number 9. For guys that have been following me for a while, you know, I love me some USC football. And after you lose arguably the best quarterback in USC history, you expect another guy that can go in and actually spin it and put up massive numbers. Will Miller Moss be that guy? I don't know. I never really expected him to be the USC starting quarterback. And then you start to talk to guys that are recruiting experts, and they were like, this dude was the real deal in high school, 4-star in 2021, chose USC over the likes of LSU and Alabama, and he paid his dues behind Caleb Williams. Got to give him a lot of credit. A lot of kids in this situation would have transferred out. They would have found some place that they could start immediately. Not Miller Moss. He waited this time, and then we finally got to see him in the 2023 Holiday Bowl. They go out. They win that game 42-28 over Louisville. He throws for a record 6 touchdowns in a Holiday Bowl. And if you guys remember some of the bowl ties back in the day to the old WAC conference, this is a bowl game that has seen a lot of offense. For him to go 6 touchdowns, very, very impressive. And he's got one of the best quarterback coaches out there in Lincoln Riley. You just look at the history from Baker Mayfield to Kyler Murray to Jalen Hurts to Caleb Williams the last couple of years. Is he going to put up Caleb Williams numbers? Doubtful. But I still think he will put up really good offensive numbers. I had USC at number 19, coming off a disappointing 5-loss season last year where the defense was complete garbage. Defense has got to be improved, and I think ultimately that will help out Miller Moss. Boy, it gets real fast, though. They open with LSU. They go to Michigan and have Wisconsin all in the month of September for Miller Moss and the Trojans. Number 8 on this list, I mentioned LSU and USC to open the season. Grant Nussmeier, another guy that actually bided his time behind another great quarterback in Jaden Daniels. Could have left at any time. Probably, could have started for 7, 8 SEC teams. Could have gone out of conference, started at 80% plus teams out there, but Nussmeier decided to stay at LSU, place that he originally signed out of high school. He chose LSU over Texas, A&M, and Georgia. He played in 18 games his first 3 seasons, had 1 career start. Moment never looked too big for Nussmeier. He looks like he's got a really good skill set, and this is a guy that grew up in a football family. His dad, as most of you guys know, Doug Nussmeier, long-time offensive coordinator in college football, played pro football for the Saints, is currently the quarterback's coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. I expect big things for Nussmeier, and I'm not saying this is going to happen. I had huge expectations for LSU and Jaden Daniels last year. Now, he ultimately wins the Heisman Trophy, and offensively, they were great. Mike Denbrock is out to South Bend, so new system for Grant Nussmeier. But this is going to be, in my opinion, a really good LSU team. And could this be a situation like we saw greatness in Peyton Manning leave Knoxville in 97, 98, T. Martin takes over. What do? They win the national championship. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I do have LSU at number 7 in my poll. And I believe LSU is a college football playoff team, but it starts early week 1 with USC and a defense that Grant Nussmeier should be able to put up some good numbers again. Again, we're going through our top 10 new quarterback situations I'm most excited about. I'm Lance Taylor. Lance is locked. Again, you guys know this. $100 a month gets you absolutely everything. We've got a free play every single day. Like and subscribe. That new YouTube channel, it is up and rolling. Remember, all packages, $100 a month. We've got everything from, the majors in golf where we do match play. Of course, right now, Major League Baseball. We killed June. Again, going into our 11th college football season. Number 7 on our list when we talk about top 10 new quarterback situations. Newcomer to the SEC, Oklahoma. I've got Jackson Arnold right here. Dillon Gabriel, who we might get to here in a minute, was the quarterback for Brent Venables in year 2, where he goes from 6 wins to 10 wins. And now you get Jackson Arnold, kind of had that verbal agreement. At least that's what a lot of the recruiting experts say behind the scenes with Brent Venables. I'm going to come in, play 1 year behind Dillon Gabriel, and then I will take over as starting quarterback. Dillon Gabriel decided he wanted another year of college football, but it wasn't to be in Norman, Oklahoma. He is on to Eugene, Oregon. And now Jackson Arnold, the 19-year-old from Atlanta that played his high school football in Dallas, will get the reins for this Oklahoma offense. Only 1 start. It was against Arizona in the bowl game, and he didn't look good. Too many turnovers, 4 total turnovers in that game in the 38-24 loss. Obviously, he's going to have to protect the football better. His first ever experience, we saw him week 1 last year against Arkansas State and the Red Wolves. He was 14 of 14, over 100 yards, touchdown, no picks. I think the kid is going to be a stud. Rave reviews coming out of the Manning Passing Academy. And you look, he gets to break in things a little bit. Temple, Houston, and then they get Tulane before hosting Tennessee. And that's when things get real for Jackson Arnold and Oklahoma. That's when they get welcomed to the SEC on September 21st, but should have a few games to break it in and really get comfortable as the starting quarterback for Brent Venables in Oklahoma. Number 6 on my list, DJ Uiagalelei, a guy that we have seen for a long time now. He's 23 years old, massive guy, 6'5", 255 pounds. He obviously started his career as a 5-star guy with Clemson the first time we saw him. You guys will remember this well. Trevor Lawrence ruled out with COVID. He gets that start in South Bend against the Irish. He goes out, tears it up, 31 of 40, a couple of touchdowns. They were down 18. They're able to come back and win that game. We thought DJ was going to be the next superstar quarterback following Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence. It wasn't meant to be. In my opinion, was very average, ultimately transfers out to play for Jonathan Smith in Corvallis last year. And they were good, not great. And I think this is going to be, kind of how good can Florida State be? Jordan Travis, obviously last year, really good quarterback. When he goes down with a season-ending injury, everything falls apart for Florida State. They go 13-0, 12-0 in the regular season, win the ACC championship with a backup quarterback. They get snubbed by the committee. We understand why, because the offense was awful without Jordan Travis. How good will it be with DJ? Yet to be determined. To me, watching DJ throughout his career, and a guy that's got a lot of experience, 40 games as a starting quarterback, 3+ years as a starting quarterback, 57 touchdowns, 24 turnovers, 24 interceptions, I should say. Got to protect the football a little bit better. And just want to see more consistency from DJ. He will have better talent around him coming back to the ACC and playing for this Florida State team. I'm not as high on the Noles as some others are. Mike Norvell, I want to see it in back-to-back years. And if DJ is as good or as close to as good as Jordan Travis was last year, watch out for the Noles. Number 5 on my list, we stay in the ACC. Super excited about Cam Ward. Mario Cristobal, He's got a lot of pressure going into 2024. 12-13 in his first couple of seasons. Things really didn't go well. Tyler Van Dyke last year, I thought he was going to be much better than advertised because he looks so good as a true freshman for Miami. It just didn't work out. Van Dyke on to Wisconsin. He will not be on this list, but I am interested to see what he will be able to do in Phil Longo's offense in year 2. But back to Ward, 22-year-old, grew up in a small town, West Columbia, Texas, 3,500 residents there, played in a wing T offense. Get this, his senior year of high school football, he only averaged 12 passing attempts per game. Therefore, wasn't really recruited. Only had one offer. Incarnate Word was the offer. He goes there to play college football, and he completely blows up. 74 touchdowns in his first couple of seasons there. He transfers to Pullman to play for Wazoo and Washington State, and he was fantastic there. The offense really was never a problem with the Cougars. 61 touchdowns in the 2 years there at Wazoo. Overall, in 44 games as a starting quarterback, 25-19. He's got 135 career passing touchdowns. We talked to Gino Toretto, former Miami great that won a Heisman Trophy back in 92 a couple of weeks ago. And he said, I've watched the kid. He can spin it. He is going to be fantastic. And this could be the difference for Mario Cristobal to get Miami back in the mix for playing for championships, which I think they will play for this year in the ACC. I've got them at number 10. I think Miami's going to be really good. And I think it's going to be because of Cam Ward. Again, we're doing the top 10 new quarterback situations I'm most excited about for the 2024 season. Lance Taylor, lanceslock.com. Jump on board. $100 gets you everything for the entire month. We give you a free play every day going into our 11th football season. We are going to win for you. We'll be doing interactive podcast all season long. So really excited about this. We are finishing out our office. I know it looks really plain here. You'll see some really cool things in the next couple of weeks, and just really excited about 2024. Number 4 on our list, Nico Amalieva, the Tennessee kid, got headlines before anybody even saw him on campus. The reported deal, $8 million in NIL, whether or not that's true or false. There is a huge expectation for Nico. We only saw him in one start this past season in the Citrus Bowl against a pretty good Iowa defense. They win that game 35-0. He only passes for 151 yards, but 4 total touchdowns, including 3 rushing touchdowns. And this is a dual threat guy. Nico could be fantastic under Josh Heupel, in my opinion, one of the best play calling head coaches in college football. You go back 2 years ago with a really good quarterback, veteran presence, and Hendon Hooker now with the Detroit Lions. They win 11 games. Last year, I thought Joe Milton was average. They win 9 games. I expect more from Tennessee. I've got them at number 14. They're right there on the fringe. Start to look at the schedule. I think it's 9 or 10 wins for Tennessee, and a big part of that is going to be the play of Nico. Number 3 on my list, I think it's going to be the best team in college football. They have reportedly invested $30 million into this football season. And I'm sure some of that $30 million went to this quarterback in Will Howard, leaving Manhattan, Kansas, to come in and play for Ryan Day, another coach that is under huge, tremendous pressure. Will Howard at the Manning passing camp earlier this month said it's natty or bust. I think all Buckeye fans would agree with that. Losing 3 consecutive games to the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan coming off a national championship. Ryan Day has yet to win one. You go back to that game against Georgia where you have C.J. Stroud in a situation where, you pick up 15, 20 more yards on that final drive. You have an easier kick. Then you leave it in the hands of a college kicker for a 50, 51-yarder. He misses. They ultimately lose. Then you see Georgia go on and destroy TCU. Ohio State would have won that game. There is a huge expectation. The good news for Will Howard, not only a lot of experience, 25 career starts, 14-11 for the K-State Wildcats, but also Chip Kelly, former head coach for Oregon, the Philadelphia Eagles, San Francisco 49ers, and most recently UCLA. He takes the reins as the offensive coordinator. I think he's going to be really comfortable. I think Ryan Day can back up, delegate a little bit more, and let the 6'5", 240-pound Will Howard with more talent around him really get this offense rolling. He gets a minute to break things in with Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall before they head to Michigan State to take on a new-look Spartan team led by Jonathan Smith. But I expect big things out of Will Howard. Ironically, you look at Chris Kleiman and everybody back in Manhattan, they think they've got the better quarterback in Avery Johnson, so they really weren't upset with Will Howard transferring out. And this could be one of those situations. You go back to Brett Favre when he left Green Bay, went to Minnesota. Green Bay starts Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer. Brett Favre goes to the NFC Championship game with the Vikings against the Saints. It really worked out for both. And I think this could be one of those situations. Not only works out for K-State, but also works out for Will Howard and Ohio State. Number 2 on my list of the top 10 new quarterback situations I'm most excited for here in 2024, Dillon Gabriel. This guy has more experience than anyone. He will turn 24 if the Ducks, which I expect them to be in the college football playoff, I've got him number 6 in my rankings. He'll turn 24 during the college football playoffs. He started 49 games in his college career, began in Orlando at Central Florida. He's 33-16 as a starting quarterback, almost 15,000 passing yards for Dillon Gabriel. This is a kid that you look at the abbreviated 2021 season at UCF. I think there's a bad rap that he's a guy that can't stay healthy. That's the only time he ever missed games. When he broke his clavicle, decided to transfer out, was first team Big 12 conference quarterback last year under Brent Venables, en route to winning 10 games. You look at what Bo Nix was able to do in this offensive-friendly system in Oregon, completely slated over the last couple of years, including last year being a Heisman finalist. 4,500 passing yards for Bo Nix, 45 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. Ducks offense averaged over 44 points per game. I think it could be even better with Dillon Gabriel. I love me some Dillon Gabriel. Probably a little too small to play in the NFL. I think that was kind of the expectation for Dillon Gabriel after last year. I think he put the feelers out and was told at 5'11", 200 pounds, you're probably not going to get drafted. So he decided to use that final COVID year, and he is back for one more year in college football with the Oregon Ducks, who I think are going to be really, really good. He is going to blow it up out there, and this Oregon team should be really exciting. Number 1 on my list, not everybody's going to agree with this. Again, it is my list. I think Riley Leonard going from Durham to South Bend is so fascinating and so intriguing. And a lot of this has to do with Marcus Freeman. I'm a big Marcus Freeman fan. He's 19-8 in his first 2 years in South Bend. But I think this is the best quarterback situation he's had. I thought Sam Hartman was going to be better than advertised last year. Didn't happen. Going back, Riley Leonard, though, 9-4 as a starting quarterback his sophomore year for the Duke Blue Devils for Mike Elko. Last year, they were 4-0. And if you guys will remember this moment, and this was one of the big moments in college football, and a lot of people don't talk about this. They open up against Clemson. Riley Leonard was great. They beat Clemson, really good Clemson defense. They're 4-0 to start. They've got Notre Dame on the ropes. Notre Dame had a 4th and forever. They converted, end up scoring on their final possession. They get the 2-point conversion. So then Riley Leonard should have been in victory formation if the defense can hold a 4th and forever. They were unable to. So Riley Leonard's back on the field trying to get Duke in position to tie that game up. Gets ankle injury. They were never the same. So 4-0 to start 2023. Things fall apart. He has an abbreviated season. He comes out with the injury. Now he transfers out, the 6'4", 215-pounder that can do a lot with his legs. Big expectations for Riley Leonard under Mike Denbrock in this Notre Dame offense. Huge game in College Station to open the season. But if they get past the Aggies, they're going to be 8-0 hosting Florida State on November 9th. So to me, Riley Leonard could be the best quarterback Notre Dame has had in a while and could ultimately lead them to a college football playoff. I've got him number 9 in my preseason rankings. So big expectations for Marcus Freeman, Riley Leonard, and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Again, jump on board with us. All sports, $100 a month. You get everything. Go to lanceslock.com where we give you a free play every day. We've been doing this a long time. We're going to do things differently this year, not the picks. We will continue to give you the winners. We're going to have more access for you guys. We're going to do more exciting things. We've got that new website that will drop this week. Again, we're going to have some interactive shows where you guys can come on. We can talk about numbers. We're going to be doing top 10 lists over the next 2 months, getting ready for the college football season. But jump on board with us at lanceslock.com. $100 will get you absolutely everything. Again, like, subscribe. Tell everybody about the new YouTube channel and the new look website. We're looking forward to 2024. We continue to win for you right here at lanceslock.com.